Tonight, the family of the victim shot in an officer-involved shooting on Friday morning is speaking out, naming 26-year-old Breonna Taylor as the woman who died when officers say they were executing a drug search warrant. Police say when they arrived to the Springfield location and entered the home, they were met with gunshots. They returned fire, killing Breonna. Breonna's family, however, says officer count does not show the whole picture. They claim officers were looking for someone who didn't live at the home or had any connection to the victim.
She's already was accomplished certified CMT for the city of Louisville. She currently works for U of L Health as a emergency technician, and this is not a woman who would sacrifice her life and her family morals and values to sell drugs on the street.
The family also claims Kenneth Walker, who's now facing attempted murder charges of a police officer, shot at officers in self-defense and is a registered gun owner. Police say that their public integrity unit is currently investigating.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
It's the best of the best. It's the one and only DJ Ice, Louisville's coldest DJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. So listen responsibly.
Doing some file maintenance. How you doing tonight, DJ Ice?
I'm doing good, sir. How about you?
I'm good. I'm here tonight with DJ Ice, co-hosting here on Conscious Fever. We're just here to talk. We're not journalists. We just like to talk, right, DJ Ice?
That's right. We just deliver the news.
We just live the news. So we got some news to deliver tonight. We're going to be talking about two things tonight, y'all. Two things. We're going to talk about Breonna Taylor. If you haven't heard about Breonna Taylor, we're going to share some information with you about Breonna Taylor. That should be very interesting. And we're going to show you a video of a member of the Kentucky Alliance Against Racism and the Revolutionary Black Panther Party of Louisville. One of their members posted a message, and I liked it so much I thought I would just enjoy it tonight here as we talk about Breonna Taylor. So we're going to do that, Ice, and we're also going to talk about, we're going to continue to talk about the coronavirus until it goes away. We're just going to talk about it, and hopefully it'll get mad and just say, I'm tired of those emails talking about us, and it's just going to leave.
And just leave, yeah.
And just leave. Normally that's what happens in the hood, right? You get tired of somebody talking to you, you just leave.
Yeah,
so that's what
they do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk about the coronavirus tonight. We're just going to talk about it until it leaves, till it goes back to, well, actually, it's not the coronavirus. It's actually the Trump virus. Like Obamacare, and, Obamacare was really a slang. So this virus, this is the Trump virus. Wow, did he do a number on this country? 6 million people last month applied for unemployment. That is the world,
Whoa.
That is a record.
Does that get a...
Yes, that is a record. Over 6 million people applied for unemployment in the United States last month. Wow.
Great job, Donald.
Wow. And I mean, when it normally 3 million is high, 6 million has just shattered the record. Now, I think a normal, unemployment rate is sometimes 4 or 5%, 3%. I mean, I'm sorry. About 3%? It's been 3%?
It was 3, I think.
6%?
3 to 5.
3%. God, it has to be almost in the triple digits now. But anyway, so our buddy, Mr. Trump, has done a number on messing up this country. So here we are. But we're not going to talk about him tonight, but we are going to talk about the coronavirus. I'm going to tell you something about what to do in the bathroom. It's called fecal oral contamination.
Fecal oral contamination.
Yeah, and if you break that down, all you wordsmiths out there, if you break that down, fecal means poop, doo-doo.
Poop.
Right? And oral means
mouth.
And contamination is what it is. So we'll talk about that. Talk about what you should be doing with the toilet. I just touched my face.
Uh-oh.
With the toilet lid. But that's not as bad.
Fecal touching
right,
face.
Right, fecal touching. Because I didn't just come from the bathroom, though. But listen, I'm a little different from the guy that was doing a TV interview. He had been quarantined.
Oh.
He was sitting at this interview, had his daughter in his lap, and during the course of the quarantine, he's talking about during the whole interview, he's coughing.
Oh, no.
Like him and his daughter just kept coughing. It was like, wait a minute, you guys just came out of quarantine, man.
I need to
It's
go
weird.
back.
Right, probably need to go back. But anyway, Ice, we're going to talk about coronavirus tonight. We're going to talk about the killing of Breonna Taylor. It is real, and I'm going to try to keep my cool because, you know, I have a lot of law enforcement friends, but, this is the worst that I've ever heard with LMPD. This is by far the worst, and I don't mean to offend anybody who has had run-ins with LMPD and has lost family members, but this one is the worst. This is the saddest. It is ridiculous, in my opinion, how the FOP came out and commented about what Judge Olu Stevens did. But we've got somebody that can articulate that a lot better than I can tonight, and we're going to show you that video. But we're going to talk about that. How's your week, Ice?
It was pretty good. You know, weather up and down. And,
Yeah,
but actually today it was pretty warm.
it was pretty warm. It's going to be pretty warm tomorrow.
You know, when I got sleeves on, it got to be warm.
Yeah. You don't have any
When I got
sleeves.
short sleeves on,
Yeah,
'cause
when
I
I don't
wear
yeah.
hoodies all year round.
Right, and when I don't have my turtleneck on, you know it's got to be
Feeling nice.
warm up here in the studio, you know.
Yeah, other than that, I haven't been watching the news, so I just really been going to work and home.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
And I've been limiting my go to work because, you know,
Yeah.
the virus is still out there, so I'm trying to be cautious. So
All
I
right.
work a little bit.
Hold on. Who is this? This says JC up in New York. It says you were in quarantine, Carl. I don't. Is that a question, JC? John up in New York, up in the Bronx. You're in the Bronx. Is that a question? I have not been in quarantine. There's no reason for me to go in quarantine. I don't have any symptoms.
To be
So I don't want. I mean, if I misspoke, I'm sorry. CV19.
Unless he was-
Is it from 5G radiation? Ooh.
Oh, that's yeah. I heard something about that 5G stuff too.
Trinita Maddox, that is a good question.
That's a good one.
It is a good topic for our show one night because 5G is dangerous.
I
It's
heard.
dangerous radiation, but it's radiation. It's radiation. I don't think there's a sound scientific association between radiation and airborne viruses. So I'm just saying. She says, be safe, Kings. Yes, you too, Queen.
Thank
you be
you.
safe. Please, everybody be safe out there. We're going to talk a little bit tonight because we know you're at home and sometimes, and some of y'all are home and feel like you're in jail because you just can't get out. Have you self-quarantined? I mean, you don't need to self-quarantine, but have you limited your social distancing and all of that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just go to work and home, and maybe to the grocery store.
Yeah, well, we're self-distanced here.
Yeah,
you're
we're
in
all
the
far
studio,
apart, yeah.
and I'm here at the desk at the
Yeah.
window. So
Well, we got a nice distance
Yeah,
between
we have
us.
a nice distance.
And the
We're just
producer
talking, y'all. Yeah,
is at a nice
and the
one.
producer's at a nice distance.
So,
So we're doing better than CBS This Morning.
Yes.
They do the show from home. So in any case, we're here on Conscious Fever tonight. Thanks for joining us, and thanks again for the more than 250,000, almost 300,000 views.
yeah,
Views, not
yeah.
likes, views from the last show.
Yes.
We got some. From the previous two shows. The last show we couldn't post because there was a little violation on Facebook of profanity. So we're going to clean that up. Once we clean that up, it'll be the last show for the polygamy. But I know y'all are tired of this polygamy stuff. I am too. But we got a polygamist in the studio, so we just got to deal with it.
What he gonna say?
Right, gonna say up. But anyway, well, let's get started with the show tonight, DJ Ice. So that means tonight you cannot you cannot play Cardi B. Like
Yeah,
that.
I won't.
Yeah, Cardi, it's real.
Yeah. Coronavirus.
Yeah, that's a
Bitches.
little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna talk about the coronavirus, and as we talk about the coronavirus, we're gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna come back. And we're gonna talk about the coronavirus. And as we talk about the coronavirus, one of the things that I'm gonna share with y'all, I'm gonna show y'all a tape of a young man who lost his mother to the coronavirus. And the reason I'm gonna show you this tape is because there's one thread in all of these stories with the coronavirus. I just want y'all to catch this now, and this is what is so scary to me, DJ Ice. The thread is that death with this coronavirus can be as simple as this. As we're here this week, and if one of us become infected and become vulnerable, we can be gone.
Whoa.
2 weeks from now.
Whoa.
You know, so a lot of the stories, when you hear a lot of the death testimonials, basically the thread between all of them is 2 weeks ago she was at the park with the grandkids,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's fighting for her life on a ventilator. So I want to show that because a lot of these, I've seen a lot of these videos. We're only going to show you one tonight, but a lot of those testimonials really touched me to tell me how serious this really was. So if you're really not practicing social distancing, you really need to consider doing that. I know some of us go to work. I still work. I haven't stopped working,
I have to too.
but I have stopped seeing clients. I don't see clients in the office anymore. The last one was, I think, Tuesday. Man, this stuff is serious. This stuff is serious, and that's really all I can say. I know there are some non-believers out there. There are truly some non-believers, ICE, that believe that this was a joke, just like Donald Trump. Believe that it was a joke. Believe that it was come and go away. Believe that it was a conspiracy. I don't give a damn if it is a conspiracy. It's here, so we have to deal with it, right?
Deal with it.
So listen, y'all, this is serious stuff. So we're gonna show you a testimony of that. We're gonna take a break, but before we take a break, thank you for everybody who is tuned in on Facebook Live.
It's
We
nice
record this
little
live.
amount of people.
Yeah, here at the radio station.
Share.
But but share this code. Share. Like Sonny and share. Just share it. Just share it. Just share this post. We want everybody to know what it is we're talking about tonight. And if you're at home not doing anything, that's all good too. Share. But anyway, we're gonna take a quick break right after this commercial. We'll be right back.
Vision dreams.
This is Tatiana, and you are watching Conscious Fever.
Tune in to Conscious Fever every Thursday night live on this Facebook channel. You can see all the shows that we've done, and we're still growing thanks to you. So please join us every Thursday night, Eastern Standard Time, live on this Facebook page, Conscious Fever. And remember, here at Conscious Fever, we're not journalists, we just like to talk. And if you're not in this Conscious Fever audience, you're living your life unconsciously. All right, DJ Ice, first, welcome back to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television and Conscious Fever Radio. Let's talk a little bit about the coronavirus. One of the things that I'm going to talk to these people about, to everybody who's listening tonight about, is that scientists are now warning everybody that the COVID-19 can be spread by what is referred to as fecal oral transmission. Hence the importance of post-bathroom hand washing, that the disease can also cause to be spread. So that's interesting. But it's spread through what is known as aerosolized feces, which means that it is more important than ever to close the lid of the toilet while flushing. Now this is according to experts, right? Because of a phenomenon, DJ Ice, known as toilet plume.
Mm-hmm.
Stool or urine can escape from the toilet into the air
Like
and
the
spread,
mist.
and spread disease. Yes, just like the mist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's according to the Association for Professionals in Infection Control and Epidemiology. There's an expert for everything and everybody, right?
Yeah, it is.
Right, it really is. But Quinn Yan Chen, Purdue's James G. Dower Professor of Mechanical Engineer at Purdue University, told Forbes magazine that there's one very easy way to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. Quote, I'm going to quote him, DJ Ice. He says, close the lid and then flush.
Yeah. But what if you're at a urinal and don't have a lid?
But the,
like if you're in the pub,
they just walk
at
away,
work,
they did a flush, right?
but it's still in the air.
It's still in
and
the
it's
air.
in the bathroom. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. Like I'm thinking like work. If we're at work,
Right.
and it,
Right.
I mean, it's in the air.
Right.
So what?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to contact this expert.
Well, maybe you should. 80% of the particles that escape from fecal matter into the air can be prevented.
How?
They say by closing the lid when flushing. And this is what this guy told Forbes. He says to avoid COVID-19 or getting COVID-19 when you're using a public bathroom, you should wash your hands, number one, then flush using gloves or paper towel to avoid contact with the handle to minimize contamination, period. And wait 1 to 2 minutes to use a public bathroom after someone has finished.
Man, I hope I don't really have to go.
You're right. Well, once you might lose it. But he says that the danger of fecal oral transmission is higher for symptomatic people. So if you share a bathroom with a COVID-19 positive individual, check this out. Disinfect the entire washroom with alcohol or ultraviolet light between uses, he advises. Imagine that, right?
But how are we to know
right.
that it was a COVID-19
but if you knew that it was a COVID-19 person, then you can do that. But I guess my thought is, if you're in the airport, right?
Yeah.
Who's gonna disinfect the whole washroom, and then who's gonna stand there by the bathroom door waiting for the airport maintenance people, the few who are working, to come and wash the whole washroom out, right? But that's what he says. But even more support that he had for it, ICE, was that a study from the City University of Hong Kong found that, and I quote this, a toilet flush can release up to 80,000 polluted droplets and leave them suspended a metry in the air for hours if the lid is left up. And this is according to the South China Morning Post.
Whoa.
So basically the point here, right, is to just close the lid.
Close the lid.
Because when you flush the toilet, everything you put in there, germy and all, comes back up into the air. The researcher of this study, his name is Alvin Lay, said that covering the toilet lid while flushing is definitely essential, but it should not be considered a complete prevention. And he advises households to regularly clean bathrooms with diluted bleach, use ventilation, and close the bathroom doors when the bathroom is not being used. Yeah, I mean, but that's standard, right? I mean,
when it's not being used. Okay,
most people
leave
the
it
door
said
open.
Close it
Right.
while you're cleaning it. I was going to say,
that's advisable too. If you you're right. But if you got other people in the house that may be right, that may be sensitive to it. It may not be an idea. But a key background, they said, is that there are 4 methods of COVID-19 transmission. And this is our lesson to you tonight, all of you all who are out there listening to us, watching us on Facebook Live, listening to us on Conscious Fever Radio. Number 1, direct contact or indirect contact. For example, someone breathing on you or sharing a drink. I'm going to pause there, DJ Ice, and say to all our friends, acquaintances, associates who are smoking weed, sharing the blunt during this boring time when you have nothing to do at home, this is for you. Watch what you share.
Yeah.
I mean,
I heard that it could possibly be in the weed.
It could be in the weed, just like the Tuskegee experiment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe so. Number 2, droplets which can be in a cough or skin-to-skin contact is the number 2 way that is transmitted easily. Number 3 is airborne with COVID-19 passing through the air or through ventilation. And number 4, what we just talked about, is oral fecal transmission, meaning that contagions from fecal matter is inadvertently ingested. Oof, that sounds so nasty.
Yeah, it does.
That sounds nasty.
Yeah.
Through direct or indirect transmission is most likely a candidate for transmission. Any of those 4 ways from direct or indirect transmission, according to Mr. Chen. He says there is no substantial research to trace origins of COVID-19 transmission on a per-patient basis. However, one of the things that he's done, according to this report, is that he has studied virus spread through transit ventilation systems and is developing a ventilation system that will prevent the spread of pathogens with individuals only breathing their own air, according to Purdue University. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. So listen, what's the moral of the story? Close the lid.
Yeah, close the lid.
Just close the lid.
We do that anyway, though.
Right. Well,
we should.
should.
And Mrs. Ice does.
Keisha Blackman says, I do that anyway. I don't
Yeah.
like the bathroom door open. Yeah, but a lot of people don't close the lid. But you know, when we were
that's
younger,
true, too.
I mean, since it's all men here, we can talk about this. When we were younger, I mean, we'll talk about it because there's some women here. But when we were younger, and when we were 18, 19, 20, 21 and started dating and living with women and sharing space with women, they would always say, why you leave the toilet lid? You know, why'd you leave the lid up?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I thought they were just talking about that bottom lid that we push up so
Yeah.
we won't get the toilet droplets on the toilet, but it could be the lid itself. Now we know
The
that
whole full lid.
right, the whole full lid. So now we know that through this whole process, one of the things that we need to do is, y'all, man, we need to close the lid. We need to close the lid. There's so many ways. I mean, this is so scary, right? The way this
Yeah, it is.
coronavirus just transmits, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when we were little, the Invisible Man movies? You remember those?
Yeah.
You see a cup piece of paper
Yeah,
walking,
something just
and
walking,
the paper just
floating,
walking,
like
but
it's
it doesn't
floating.
feel like it was working. But that's the way this is. So anyway, y'all, this is scary. I don't mean to bore y'all with it. We got another part of the show. But before I leave this part, what I want y'all to see this. I just want to give y'all a little dose of reality. Here's the testimony from a man across the water, and his testimony. He lost his mother. He lost his mother to the coronavirus. But so, as I indicated earlier, so many of these testimonials, DJ Ice, are just like what we're about to show everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that they're not talking about individuals who was in hospice for a while or individuals who was in a hospital for a long period of time. They're talking about people. I think he talks about his mom, how she was up and active on Tuesday and Thursday she was dead.
Mm.
So anyway,
Sad.
this is a video. I want y'all to take this out just to get the full Monty of what this coronavirus stuff is all about. Check this out.
I'm doing this because I want people to understand that this virus, this corona, it's not a joke. You know, I've made jokes about it. Everybody makes jokes about it. I think that's how we deal with it. We make light of hard situations. But Monday, our mum got taken to hospital, Q&E. It looked like it was this corona. And me, my dad, my brother and my sister, and all their family have to just sit at home while she struggles in hospital on her own. And you can't go near her, you can't cuddle her, can't take her anything. And you praying every day that she's gonna come out, that she's gonna be all right, everything's gonna be okay. That was Monday. Now it's Thursday, and she's gone. She's gone. Just like that, it's gone. We can't grieve, we can't comfort each other, we can't hold each other. Losing someone's hard enough, but not being able to hold your family close when you do is... This is the most gut-wrenching pain I've ever felt in my life. There were so many things that I had left to do and say that I didn't get to do. I'm just... Yes, people have got to start realising that this fucking thing ain't playing anymore. This is serious. I know loads of people have died, but it ain't until it's a bit closer to home that you realise how fucking dangerous it is. I love you, Mum.
Ice.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was sad.
very sad.
Here's the point here, y'all. Here's the point here. There's one part about this that really didn't come out. Okay, one, I show that video because that's the thread in every video. She was just here Tuesday, and here it is Thursday, and she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the pneumonia has gotten to her. But it's not only the pneumonia by itself killing people, and this is why it's so important for everybody to try to do what you need to do to stay safe, because it's just not the pneumonia. I mean, this is America. We can cure pneumonia. The problem is it's just not enough space to take you in. In New York City today, the order by the New York City Fire Department, who runs the EMTs and the EMSs, is that if an individual cannot be, if you perform CPR on individuals who need it, and if the CPR doesn't work, don't bring them to the hospital. That's how bad this is. Here's the other part. Here's the unseen part, which is really, really sad, is that a lot of these people who are dying, their loved ones are not able to say goodbye to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody has to stay, because these people have to stay quarantined until they die, until their body is put in a body bag and put in a freezer. So this is, you know, stories like this should really encourage everybody to practice this social distancing and and wash and disinfect, because I cannot imagine not being able to see a loved one, see a loved one now, and then that's it. And somebody just tells you, okay, they passed away. And then it gets worse when it comes to laying them to rest.
Yeah, because some of them you can't have funerals.
Some of them you can't have funerals.
You can have limited guests.
Right. In fact, there is a service that's tomorrow. I think it's okay for me to talk about this. Young man was shot this week or last week.
Mm-hmm.
His family, I was told by his father, his family went to the hospital when they found that he was shot and was taken to the hospital. They would not let him see his son while he was in the hospital. Mm-hmm. They eventually came out and said that he's dead.
Yeah, and that's
horrible. And let me tell you this, the parents never got a chance, because of this coronavirus and this quarantining and all of this hospitalization, the parents never got a chance to see him until today. He died probably about 8 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
They never got the opportunity to really identify his body. So listen, I know, and I know how people love to gather when there's funerals. All you have to do is do what you need to do to prevent a funeral. The projection is that 200,000 people are going to die of this in 30 days from now.
Wow.
So I just hope you're not one of them. I hope I'm not one of them. With God's blessings. So in any case, interesting stuff about the coronavirus, man.
Yeah.
Really interesting. We're going to go to another section of this show because I don't want to run too short on time. We're going to talk about Breonna Taylor. I wanted to tell you all some details about what happened with Breonna Taylor, but all I'm going to tell you is this, is that Breonna Taylor was a young 26-year, I think she was 26 years old, young 26-year-old female who unfortunately, who was an EMT. Here's what happened. Breonna Taylor was at home minding her own business, just like the young man that we did the show on in Dallas, Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was at home minding his own business, actually in her apartment, and I want to say the facts were that she was in her bed. And the police come, approaches the resident, basically looking for a target that wasn't there. And in law enforcement, a target is an individual who is mentioned in the search warrant to be searched and to be arrested. But the problem is, he was not the guy that was the target of the search warrant. And so he did what any law-abiding Kentuckian would do, and Floridian, right? What he did was he pulled his gun, because Kentucky is a stand-your-ground state.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled his gun. Police were in plain clothes.
Yeah, he didn't know.
They claimed that they announced and pronounced themselves as law enforcement. Neighbors are saying, no, we didn't hear anything but gunshots. We didn't hear anybody say police, 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 police. All we heard were gunshots. So, long story short, they end up firing back at him, because that's what police do. You shoot at the police is going to shoot back. They end up shooting him. He ended up shooting one police officer, but they end up killing young Breonna Taylor. There's something that stinks about this. Now, I understand that there should be an uproar when somebody attempts to murder a police officer under normal circumstances, like the police is executing a search warrant on this individual, and he hauls off and starts to shoot them, and or
He's
or
fully
try to shoot
aware
them, and
that
he's
they
fully
are
aware
the police.
that they are the police, and he is the target of the search warrant,
Right.
and he is the real criminal. But when you have circumstances where this individual and his girlfriend, who is now dead, had nothing to do with anything why the police should have been there, and the police just made a big old mistake, Yeah, I said big old mistake. FOP, I'm not sure if it's proper for you to come out and try to disgrace this judge for doing what appears to be the right thing. It's just not your everyday garden variety attempted murder of a police officer. So anyway, I understand that we got a video. So I want y'all to listen to this video real quick. I thought this was a really, really good message. I was really impressed, but I may have done a harsh job of explaining this situation, but he does a much better job. So check this out, then we'll be right back.
First, I'd like to offer my deepest condolences to the family of Breonna Taylor. I am so sorry for your loss in this tragic incident, and I hope that you are able to see justice served on behalf of your loved one, truly. Second, let's start with a strong black power for Judge Olu Stevens here in Kentucky. Your actions last week in the case with Darrell Walker were exemplar of what a judge's prudent discretion should represent in a court of law. So, round of applause, brother. Round of applause. It's always great when we get to see the justice system actually administer justice. So, for those who don't know, on March 13th, at or around 1 a.m., LMPD narcotics detectives entered Darrell Walker's residence in an attempt to serve a search warrant for another person, unrelated to Walker or his girlfriend, Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old Louisville Metro EMT lying asleep next to Darrell in their bed. Upon ramming the residential door and entering the apartment, LMPD officers failed to knock or properly identify themselves as pursuant to LMPD standard operating procedure, consequently resulting in Mr. Walker opening fire on what he thought were armed robbers, hitting an officer in the leg, injuring him. Officers then returned fire, missing Darrell, but fatally wounding his girlfriend Breonna, shooting her multiple times as she slept in the bed. An attorney representing the family said that officers were actually looking for someone else, and other officers had picked that suspect up at his house in a separate raid shortly before the shooting. This was clearly a botched execution of a warrant. On March 26th, in a decision on this improper raid, Judge Stevens lowered Walker's $250,000 cash bond to home incarceration. This prompted outrage from the police union in certain parts of the LMPD, so much so that they attempted to admonish Judge Stevens in an open and formal letter this past weekend. In short, the letter really disrespected Judge Stevens' decision to release an innocent man with no prior criminal record to home custody while he awaits trial. Okay, let's be frank. The police union is upset because they continue to believe that the U.S. law enforcement system isn't biased, partially corrupt, and arrogant in its historically blatant and brutal acts on the public without consequence. I've always thought it funny that you have a history of stereotyping thugs, when in actuality, you are the thugs. Everyone knows the biggest gang on American soil is the police department. So, no, Judge Stevens didn't release Darrell Walker because of overpopulation in the jails. No, Judge Stevens did not release Darrell Walker because of the coronavirus quarantine safety precautions or whatever. No. It was because LMPD acted without just cause, without professional responsibility or integrity, and without their own standard operating procedures. Had Breonna been murdered by anyone except the police, the person or people responsible would have been charged with a homicide, no question. So, Darrell Walker is a victim of police misconduct. Breonna Taylor is a victim of police misconduct, brutality, and a historically general disregard for unrepresented American lives. Y'all f***ed up, and anyone with eyes can see. Well, except for Chief Conrad, because he had this to say about the situation, and I quote, "It's hard for me to see how a man accused of shooting a police officer falls into this low-risk category." Well, Chief, because he is a low risk. Before this incident, Walker's criminal record was clean outside of a driving infraction a while ago. He isn't a danger to anyone except those that put him in danger, just like any other upstanding, law-abiding American citizen. This man stood his ground, which is perfectly legal in Kentucky, when officers fail to identify themselves, fail to properly and professionally execute a warrant according to standard operating procedure, and they break and enter a non-warranted citizen's abode at robbery hours, he, like any other American, will defend his house and home. Every witness reported that police never identified themselves. One neighbor even said she woke up to the boom of the door and then gunshots when it all happened, stating the officers never announced anything. Walker's attorney even says, had my client known it was the police at the door, he would have opened it for them. He had no warrants, no excessive criminal history, nor any illegal substances of any kind to hide, end quote. And it is very important to note that officers did not find any illegal drugs or firearms in Walker's home. So, because of this unfortunate incident, one person is dead, one person was almost killed due to the reckless, unprofessional actions of these LMPD detectives. So again, thank you, Judge Stevens, for once again demonstrating how the American justice system should fairly represent and codify all Americans and not just the in-crowd elite. I'm sure the family of Fred Hampton could appreciate such an act of true patriotism. Black power.
This is Tatiana, and you are watching Conscious Fever.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Louisville's finest, DJ Ice.
Now, I'm looking at some comments here. She says, Dr. Kia Pruitt, our friend, Dr. Pruitt, thanks for joining us as always. Says policy enforcers are unlawful corporate entities that must be dismantled or at least reorganized. These bullies need to go. Jay?
I agree.
You agree with Dr. Pruitt?
I agree.
Yeah. I think that I think we're all prone to make mistakes, and I think that's what has happened here. Dr. Pruitt also says that this is heartbreaking. She says, "Thank you, Judge Olu Stevens, and good job. Good job, Dre." She says that's Dre without the apostrophe, by the way, y'all. As y'all know, that he's a contributor here at Conscious Fever, but he did that for a whole different organization, and I saw that, and I thought it was so appropriate to explain that situation because we're all caught up in what's going on with coronavirus, and we can't lose sight. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, whoever this person was, let's hope, whoever the real target of the search warrant was, God forbid, I hope he
Can't
was
they charge him?
Can they charge him?
Mm-hmm. Well, they can't charge him with nothing because he.
What do you mean
I was
charge
saying
him?
like, shoot, he need to be charged with something besides them just.
He was already in custody when they.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The other task force was picking him up.
No, but I think the problem is, I think the bigger problem is that the real big problem is that I just forgot what I was about to say. I'm sorry, it's just one of those nights. It's one of those nights, but in any case, I thought it was really interesting. But we can't lose sight of what's really going on. And here's what I was about to say. What I was about to say was that I think it's interesting because I'm curious to know why they wanted to pick him up so bad that during this corona period, you will go after task force. Is he killing people? Is he really, really dangerous out there? Is he really, really that dangerous? Did he really attempt to murder a police officer? Which I would admit he's dangerous. Then you should go out there with a task force during this period and pick him up. But if they wanted him just because he was dealing drugs, man, we've got a long way to go because that is not, as the governor says, an essential function.
So they didn't say what.
I don't know. I think it's just too early. I think with all
was for.
I think with all the coronavirus,
narcotics detectives.
I think it's but they were narcotics detectives as I'm told. So I don't know how important and how essential it was to get this man off the street to jeopardize the life of an innocent person. Police are now above the law, particularly since 45 gave them the orders to kill us. Okay, Alvin.
Okay, Al.
45 give police the orders to kill us.
Well, that's what people think.
That's what people
I
think.
mean, the way he structures things.
Right, where he structures things.
But I knew, well, I ain't gonna say I knew, but I figured when the police announced that they wasn't gonna be accepting certain calls, I said, man, it's gonna get rough out here.
Yeah.
But I think that they was hoping that people was gonna stay in the house like as they was asked to do.
Right.
But it's a lot of things that these police need to be handling.
Well,
And,
you know, I think it's
just-
just, I think it's improper training. I think that, you know, again, the tidbit I heard was that there are no body cameras available because this task force doesn't wear them. I think that's just a leadership breakdown. Because I remember the chief at one point saying that the city needs to be more, the police department needs to be more transparent with the community about what happens in these police shootings.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you've got a task force out there that is not wearing body cameras. So interesting stuff. Anyway, I just thought that we would share that tonight. We can't lose focus of everything that's going on. And I'll tell you one other thing. Since we're talking about law enforcement and the coronavirus, aren't you waiting for the day, DJ Ice, when they really tell us how many inmates are infected with the coronavirus? You know, the last report that came out locally was that none of the inmates that they tested have tested positive. I don't believe that.
No, I don't.
And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm telling you, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Corrections officers, a couple of corrections officers have tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
They're in self-quarantine. And some of their relatives have, and they're in self-quarantine. And then some police officers, and they're in self-quarantine. But they said no inmates have. I don't believe that, y'all.
I don't believe it either.
Yeah,
And
I don't believe that.
I thought I saw something on some kind of social media to where they were saying that was like some inmates, it is spreading pretty rapidly.
Right. Because
I don't
think
know
about
what
it.
jail it was though.
Because think about it. Because if, first of all, I saw a coronavirus order from a judge, and then they were concerned with this person because this person was violating the order and did not self-quarantine.
Mhm.
Can you imagine if the word got out that the inmate population in Louisville Metro Corrections was actually infected? Like 50% of them were infected. Then judges practically would naturally stop sending people to that particular jail. And the cost of a city who is already under budget,
Mhm.
right, or over budget, I should say, or broke, would have to send these inmates to other counties and pay for it, or federal facilities, or other county jails with space, other Mayberry jails, you know, to actually do that. That's why I believe that there's an incentive not to tell the truth about who's infected over there, because then you pick somebody up, what do you do with them? Then we will be in a martial law state, right?
Yeah.
Because then the police can't arrest anybody. The real criminals out there will feel like, okay, I'm Teflon Don now. I cannot be arrested because they can't take me to the jail because the judge says don't send anybody to the jail because, you know, I may end up dying. I get infected with coronavirus, I go to the hospital, I catch pneumonia, I'm dead. No ventilators, you know, no mask, I'm dead. So, interesting. I just really don't believe that nobody has tested positive in Louisville Metro Corrections. So keep that in mind, because I think it would be a debacle if we were told that the jail is contaminated. Where would you self-quarantine the prisoners? Maybe at a judge's home, right?
Yeah.
They say, hey, you can do home incarceration, you do it at my house. I'm just BSing. I'm just joking to some of my judge friends out there. But no, but seriously, but you know, but the truth would always set us free. And I think we just need to tell all. I mean, this is the worst period of our lives in America. This is the worst that we've ever experienced, and probably the worst that we're ever going to experience in our lifetime. You thought New York had it bad with 9/11. This is worse. More people have died from this coronavirus outbreak than those that died in the 9/11 attack. So it's serious, y'all. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care about the conspiracy theories, but we need to get with it. But we need to keep our eye, as the video said, as you saw Dre Dawson say, and we need to keep our eyes still on the prize of what's going on out there in the community, because I'm all for. I don't want y'all killing me for this. I don't want y'all shouting at me. I don't want y'all cussing me out for this. But I'm all for the police handling their business against the criminal. I'm serious.
If it's done the correct way.
Right. Obviously, if it's done the correct way. But what I'm saying is that I don't have sympathy for the man. I've said this on this show before a couple of years ago. I don't have sympathy for a man that goes out and snatches a woman's purse, and she's 80 years old and she's trying to live her life independent at that age, and all of a sudden now she's got broken ribs trying to hold on to her purse and the little Social Security money she gets. Yeah, I think that, I almost said a-hole, but I don't say that. Facebook's gonna cut us off. But I don't care if that butthole gets put under the jail. And I don't care what law enforcement does with him. And I don't care if he dies of the coronavirus, quite honestly. So we all feel the same way about criminals.
Mm-hmm.
But, but the policing just has to be accurate. I mean, you can't, because it could happen to anybody. That could have been any one of us, right?
Yeah.
You're at home. I mean, and she worked in the medical field, so you can imagine she probably had an exhaustive day. She just wanted to get that rest before they called her back. She's an EMT. And she's just at her home minding her own business. And her boyfriend did what any law-abiding Kentuckian would do is, stand your ground. Put your gun and stand your ground. I would have done the same thing. So I don't know. Who knows what the facts are? Maybe the facts will come out. To my law enforcement friends that were involved, good luck to you. I hope this all comes out. Best for you, because I know it's a hard job, but it's hard to swallow when an innocent person gets killed in their home, because we all feel like a home is our sacred place.
Mm-hmm.
We shut that door, we lock it, we turn the alarm on, we feel safe. It's like we're here, and everything is, this is it. Everything is the way I want it until I get up and unlock that door and turn that alarm off, and then to have somebody rush in there mistakenly and kill you. It's not real, y'all. I mean, but this is real. This is realer than the coronavirus, and that's why we thought to talk about it tonight. But DJ Ice, I'm told by the producer that we are wrapping up. We are out of time.
Wrapping it up.
We're wrapping up time. Listen, I know that the room was full tonight, and I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. You could have been doing anything else under the sun, but you decided to wait and join us here on Conscious Fever and watch us to the end. But no, we really do appreciate you all joining us, and again, to the tune of 250,000 views on some of our last shows. We really appreciate that. So thanks for joining us tonight. I need to log off. I'm Carl Price. Again, I want to say thanks to our contributor, Dre Dawson, for allowing us to show that video tonight, the Black Panthers, as well as the Kentucky Alliance Against Racism. I'm Carl Price. This is
DJ Ice.
DJ Ice, where it's ice cold. Am I told you gonna be in an igloo, Eskimo studio or something?
Yeah, live.
They're gonna build a studio for you from the igloo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all get ready for that, y'all.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that. But since we're practicing social distancing, he's gonna be in the cold section. I'm gonna be in the warm section.
I'm gonna be in the igloo.
So you're gonna be in the igloo. Absolutely. All right. Well, this has been Conscious Fever. I'm Carl Price. Have a wonderful night, and again, be safe, safe, safe. Good night.
You got what I need.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price on 97thebeatfm.com.
Follow me on Twitter at DJ Ice Louisville and on Instagram at DJ Ice_Louisville. For bookings, DJ Ice Price 1 at gmail.com.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know clouds up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it is. Then I go to my brother. And I say, brother, help me please. But he wind up knocking back down on the knees. Oh, there've been times that I thought I couldn't last for long. But now I think I'm able, Father, to carry on. And it's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it is, yes it is, yes it is. Said I know that a change is gonna come one day. I know a change gonna come.